All right, good morning, everybody. It's Friday morning team call, time to get started. Excited to see the growth and everything that's coming down the pipe for you guys. And let's keep this train rolling. Wanted to talk with you a little bit this morning about that. And the topic for this morning, I had introduced early on in the year the idea of, really wanting to see this, this team become a team of excellence. And it's fun to compete on the leaderboards and and put up big numbers and obviously take care of ourselves, our friends, and our family. But I think if we focus on excellence and becoming a team of excellence, all those things are going to take care of themselves. The numbers there for you and your families, the leaderboard accolades, all those things happen if you focus first and foremost on excellence. Excellence in your business, in your activity, and taking care of your clients and really caring for your clients and making sure that you're doing right by them. And in talking about that this morning, let's look at something that Jacob actually posted up on the Master Hierarchy Crew app. I think it was either this morning or late last night. I didn't actually look at the timing on that, but talking about several teams throughout the master hierarchy are looking at setting up their commitments for the coming month of October. And I really wanted to take time to differentiate this morning because I see a lot of people who make goals, but there's a difference between a goal and a commitment. And the way I look at it is goals versus commitment are the same thing as a wish versus a resolve. And too many times I see people come in this business and their goal is to go out and do a certain level of production, but I can almost read in between the lines that it's their wish or it's their hope, it's their dream that they're going to go out and do that business. I don't know that they're actually really thinking about what it's going to take to make that happen. And my challenge to you coming into the month of October, and this is for those of you who are brand new and wondering how the timing of everything works. This is the last day of turn-in for September. Tomorrow, actually midnight tonight, starts October for turn-in. So anything that comes through starting tomorrow is going to go on October numbers. But this is a week-to-week, month-to-month business, and so we're always setting that bar, that next level you're wanting to hit from one month to the next. And so, as we look at the month of October, I'm going to put a challenge out to you guys. We're entering in what's known in the industry as insurance selling season. October, November, December are typically some of the biggest months industry-wide, but even for our company, for selling insurance. I mean, this is a time of year when people are spending time together. There's a lot more family activities around holidays, and people tend to turn more towards thinking about friends, family, and taking care of those people. So because of that, there's typically a lot more sentimental motivation towards taking care of those people that they're hanging around. And so this, again, insurance selling season, I'm saying all that to set the stage that there's absolutely no reason that each and every one of you cannot put together the last quarter of this year and put together a monster quarter. We really finish out the year strong and roll into 2020 on a real high. But it's going to take the difference between setting a goal and setting a commitment. Now, goals are good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this is a bad thing. But we want to have goals, but we want to have commitment. And a commitment is what you will absolutely not let. In other words, it's that number, that production that you are absolutely going to hit no matter what. And at the end of the week, at the end of the month, you are going to do whatever it takes to get those numbers. So in a little bit of training around what it takes to make that happen, because a lot of times I see somebody, and this is, I don't worry so much about people who are brand new. I mean, obviously you have no concept of what numbers should be or what your personal capabilities are. But I see somebody that maybe has been in the business a few weeks, a few months, maybe even longer, and they set these goals. Well, I want to do $30,000 a month, $40,000 a month, and maybe they've never done more than $5,000 to $10,000. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad goal, but I'm saying it's not realistic. Not realistic because they can't do it. I believe each and every one of you on this call right now can hit $30,000 to $40,000 a month of production. I'm saying it's unrealistic because they've never put in the activity. They've never made the commitment to make that happen. And so as you're looking at your numbers for October, this is something that we're going to be doing for all of you, and get with your upline and have them help you with this. But we're going to be providing your high water mark for each and every one of you. How much is the maximum amount that you've written throughout the last year? And again, it doesn't matter if you're only 3 months into this business. So what we want to do with a commitment is we want to raise the bar, but we want to raise the bar in such a way that we're going to grow, not set a goal that's unrealistic. And again, I want to be very clear and very cautious here, because I don't want to set somebody up to feel like they can't achieve those highest levels. But what we got to realize is you can't come into this business day one and assume you're going to go to the top day two. That's just unrealistic. There's a growth process, a growth curve to go through. And I see that too many times that agents will come in and they'll shoot for the stars, or in their mind they want to shoot for the stars, but they won't put the foundation in place to make that a reality. So, again, what we're going to be providing for you is your high water mark. Well, it doesn't matter what that number is. If it's been 5,000 a month, 10,000, 15, 20, that number doesn't matter. What we're going to do is we're going to ask you to do a stretch commitment, not a stretch goal, a stretch commitment. We're going to take whatever that high water mark is, we're going to move it. We're going to move the bar up. So for easy math, let's say you did 10,000. It's been the most that you've ever done. So what would it look like to get to 13,000 in a month? Now that's a 30% increase over your high water mark of 10,000. But in realistic terms, guys, to go from 10,000 to 13,000 is 3 additional applications in a month. So stop and think about that. In a 30-day time period, 4 weeks, typical month is 4 weeks. All you have to do is 3 extra applications. Now, again, just saying that out loud makes it sound very, very simple, but it's going to take a lot of intentionality. It's going to take a lot of consistency. And it's going to take a commitment. Again, what we're talking about is goals versus commitment, and stretching yourself by doing just a little bit more. So again, we're going to provide everybody your numbers. We're not going to set your commitment number for you. I mean, if you're writing $15,000 a month and that's where you want to be, and that's your commitment every month, and you're fine writing 15 grand, then go out and write 15. But if you're wanting to step it up, if you see that you're looking at the leaderboards, you're looking at the national leaderboards, you're seeing some of these people who are putting up great numbers, just tremendous amount, and you realize that also equals a lot of personal financial success for them. That equals them being able to do more for their family and personal growth financially. And you want part of that, then it's going to take you guys sitting down and stretching yourself. And again, don't shoot for the moon. I mean, what I'm trying to convey to you here is we want that goal to be where you're headed long term, but we want your commitment. Again, your dead stop. I won't stop working this month until I hit that number. And the way this should work is you should hit your commitment before the end of the month and then start working on your goal. That's ideally how this process should work. So, again, we can show you the numbers. The thing that's missing so many times when I look at these leaderboards and I see people that consistently put up maybe 1 or 2 applications a week, but that's all they ever do. And I realize we got some part-time people on here, so if you're in that boat, and I'm not calling you out, don't get me wrong here. But I've got some people that claim they're full time that maybe do 0 to 2 applications a week. And that's, guys, it's just, you're fooling yourself. That's just not going to get done for you in this business. I mean, most of us come into this because we have higher aspirations and higher goals. But what it ultimately comes down to is we can show you the numbers, but are you going to take the time and the commitment and the personal growth to develop the resolve to make those commitments happen? Okay, so, the beautiful thing about this, and we've had a lot of conversations this week. I was at the Kansas City Fall Tour, and there was a lot of conversation around how, more and more this Symmetry system is starting to look like a franchise, a business package, where you come into this and the game plan is laid out for you. The success path is laid out for you. All you have to do is plug into it. All you have to do is run the numbers. And you don't even have to understand the entire system. We've got a document called the 4 Cornerstones. Each and every one of you should have that printed out, taped to your desk, taped to your phone, where you can't miss it. That is right there in front of you. If you just did the 4 Cornerstones and you read it every day and you worked diligently to try to check off each and every one of those, guys, you would have an unbelievable amount of success in this business. And so, like I said, we're going to provide the numbers for you, but you're going to have to provide the resolve to make it happen. And the easy thing I was talking with the agency owners this morning, just through text, about some of those things that's going to be required. And it's going to be a requirement that you guys you're going to have to invest in yourself, both in time and resources. For some of you, it may be getting more consistent on making sure that you have a certain amount of leads in your inventory every week. Too many people would think they can buy leads one time and make those stretch for 6 months. It doesn't work that way, guys. Too many people are only wanting to work leads only and aren't willing to talk to the people who are literally around them each and every day, that they come in contact with, people that they know, people that trust them and care about them, and they're not willing to have a conversation with them about what we do. Guys, I interviewed a guy yesterday who's in Wichita, Kansas. And the only reason I tell you this story is because in Kansas, we don't have leads. And the reason we don't have leads is because of some obscure law that says you can't use public data to generate leads. And so I've got a guy out in the middle of the state of Kansas, southwestern, south central Kansas. He can run leads, but we already know right out of the gate, he's going to have to drive at least 1.5 hours, probably 2 hours to get anywhere where he can run leads, maybe more. And what I liked about this, if we move forward with this guy, I like him because he asked the question, because I just told him up front, look, here's the situation. You can run our leads, but you're going to have to drive. He said, well, what can I do to generate leads locally? That was a perfect question. And as I started talking through with him, we've got all these programs, and yes, we highlight them a lot, but we don't take it to the next step and connect the fact that we have literally got a business package where you can go out and generate people to talk to each and every day. You can literally walk up and down the street and find people to talk to. Debt-free life. I realize you've got to go through the certification and all that, but I know a lot of you have gone through that. That's a program where you can literally go door to door and find people to talk to. We've got Everplans. Guys, if you sign up for the professional account, I forget what it is, 35, 45, 55 bucks a month. I don't even remember how much I'm paying for it. But that's a plan that you can give away to people. How many of you can sell free? If you can't sell free, we need to have a talk because we've got some serious problems. You can give away plans to people, and you can sit down and help them put those plans together. And as you help them put those plans together, guess what? You're going to have an opportunity to talk with them about their life, their financial situation. You think that's going to raise some possibilities there? And you can do that for free. We have several people who are working on ways to get that into hospitals, into schools, where opportunities where they can sit down with groups of people. We're getting ready to do a big farm fair in our area here in a week and a half. We're giving everybody who signed up in our booth a free Ever plan. Guys, the only thing I'm worried about right now is how long it's going to take us to sit down with everybody to set these plans up. We are going to be burning the candle at both ends, just trying to get plans set up. But I'm happy to do it because, man, we're going to have a ton of conversations around their financial life. Okay? Guys, we have Care to Share, a program that Symmetry put together that you can, again, give this out for free to people. If they refer somebody to you, they get rewarded with gift cards and you get a lead. Win-win. So the tools, the resources are there. If you're in a situation where maybe you don't feel like you've got, I'm looking at the board here, most people have got leads in their area and they got plenty to work. But financially, if you don't have enough to invest in a lot of leads, you still got plenty of tools to generate the business that you want to generate. And so, guys, the challenge to you this morning is, what are you going to do to hit your commitments? And make those commitments, make them public. Put that number down, share it with your upline, post them up on GroupMe. Back yourself in the corner and, put out there what you're going to do to make your business successful. John Hancock, sorry, I'm throwing stuff out here randomly, but it's hitting me. I mean, we've got so many tools. John Hancock, I love that Audrey was on last week giving us specific suggestions, marketing suggestions for going out and generating business. Giving away a free Fitbit, a $25 Apple Watch, talking to gyms. Got a couple of gyms I'm talking to right now about this very program. We're working on getting that stuff in place. So at the end of the day, guys, again, we're gonna be sending out, just be on the lookout. We'll be working on this today, getting those numbers put together for you, just so you all know kind of where that benchmark is. But stretch yourselves. And again, make that commitment. It's great to have goals, but what's your commitment? What are you absolutely willing to do this month, coming month of October? And be thinking ahead throughout the end of the year. How great would it be to finish out, to roll into Christmas, the holiday season, take a couple, 3 days off around Christmas, spend time with family, but do so not having to worry about finances. That would be huge. Jeremiah, see,
Yeah.
you politely raised your hand, so. Yes, teacher calls on you.
Yeah, so I love this topic. That's something that we are, as we got to remember that we are business owners. We are not Symmetry sales agents. We're not. We're business owners, so we control our business. And, one of the things that I'm working on now is getting, with mortgage brokers, and I've got a flyer, mortgage protection flyer that I created, and I'm working with getting them to mortgage brokers as a referral source. Get them before they get all this mail, because we know they're going to get it. The mortgage brokers know they're going to get it. Share this opportunity with them. Give them the information. If they have an interest in that type of product, give me a call, and I'm going to give the mortgage broker they're going to get a $25 gift card for every application. So that's a way to generate more business. You was talking about Chris. You was talking about that guy in Kansas. Well, my most recent agent I'm bringing on board, and I just added her this morning, Janine. She comes from, she's coming to us from Colonial Life, and all they do is B2B. They cold call businesses to get in and offer, employee benefit programs and things of that nature. Well, guess what? We have that too. We have group plans through Transamerica. I think Assurity or maybe but we have that. So if you have contacts, get in with those contacts or go make the contacts. We should never, at the end of the day, you shouldn't depend on Symmetry whether or not your business succeeds or not. Now, I love the leads. I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't love the leads. I've got $500 worth of leads today. I love the leads, but we can generate our own leads. The leads are meant to be a resource to help us get our business going while we're, doing other things and while we're generating our own. And while, there's some people that don't come natural, and that's okay, but you got to work on it. You got to stretch yourself. You got to get out of your comfort zone. It don't come natural to me, but it's just something that, you got to do. The gym situation, I'm set up to be at our local hospital next month. And, it's a benefits fair. They've got, I think altogether, they've got, I believe they have close to 3,000 employees altogether. And so, I'm going to be there with a booth and I'm going to be sharing Debt Free Life and John Hancock. That was great idea with the nurses. They'll earn a free Apple Watch in a couple of days, with as much as they're on their feet. So it's just reaching out, doing what we got to do to be successful. Life insurance agents and insurance agents in general has made a lot of money over the, forever without any leads, John, that's totally up to you to care to share, or whether it comes from me. At the end of the day, it comes from you regardless. So it's, however you want to set that up with them. They have to click that link, to do that. But so, it's just a matter of doing the outreach. And like I said, at this particular agent, she was calling me last night and say, hey, I've got some contacts with these prisons, that are here, the state employees, can I do that with Symmetry? I'm like, absolutely you can, so she's not even talking about leads. She's talking about taking her Symmetry business, because she's working for a company that they have limited, taking her Symmetry business and it's her business and go out and doing all these things. And so, we've got the prison federal employee, program that they offer. We've got everything that these folks need, but they don't know it if we don't get it in front of them. So I just think it's important. I don't want to lose sight on the fact that leads is a way to get started in the business. It's a way to, quickly get in front of people. That's a big part of what makes us special, is the fact that we do generate our leads so we can get our agents in front of people fast. But, we can become lead junkies, where we think that, if we don't have leads, we can't do business. No, that's definitely not it. And with all these other programs, the reality is that our owners are introducing all of these different programs to make us so strong and stable that it don't matter what happens with our economy, what happens, whatever, we've got the ability to help people. Because maybe if the economy tanks at some point, it's going to, we know that, we just don't know when. Well, people might have less money to spend on life insurance. We can help, but how about we can get you out of debt, and so you've got all of this stuff. And so, if my encouragement is to get to the Leaders Summit and get debt-free certified. I went to St. Augustine and we made it a family trip. It's a beautiful place, nice beach. So I'm not against doing that, but it costs money. It costs extra money. It's another trip. It's another time away from that. I think it's money well spent. But if you can do it and and get the information you need as a leader from some Symmetry, and then get certified while you're there, it's a no-brainer. So I shared that link. I would encourage you to, before you sign up, you need to get with your mentor to make sure that they feel like it is a good time for you, but it's important. It's a great opportunity. And but anyway, I appreciate it, Chris, sharing. And yeah, let's post our commitments and help each other, hold each other accountable to that.
I'm sorry, can get my mute to come off here. No, that's excellent, Jeremiah, and I appreciate you sharing that. And some things that he brought up there that really got me thinking is we look at those people at the top of the leaderboards. Like I said, I was at Kansas City, so there was actually some high rollers there. I don't know if that's the term you use, but anyway, guys that are weekly on the top of the leaderboards and have been for a long time. Conversation with Mike Leidecker. Mike's actually doesn't live too far from me, so I get an opportunity to see him from time to time. But this is a beautiful thing about the fall tours. You really get a chance to interact with some of these top performers in the business. So I had a chance to sit down and talk with Mike Leidecker, Christopher Clark. I was sitting with Zach Little. I mean, these guys are all writing $30,000 to $40,000 a month and doing so on a regular basis. And the thing that struck me in those conversations is those guys are not the lead junkies. To get to that level, you in theory can run on leads, but your lead bill is going to mean that in reality you're not, that $40,000 you're going to be spending, you can be spending 10 grand to earn the 40,000 on leads. What those guys do is every home, they're taking the time, and again, this goes back to our conversation of excellence. They're taking time to learn about that family, learn about their needs, ask them questions, find out what all their needs are. Now, maybe they can't help them with all their needs that time, but I guarantee you, they're helping them with not only the thing that they requested, mortgage protection, but they're coming out with 2 or 3 other applications. They're getting as much done as they can while they're there, and they're going back later as that family improves, and they're writing additional business. They're getting referrals. Guys, they are leveraging these tools that are put out by Symmetry. They're leveraging better than anybody. And that's why they're on their leaderboard. So if you want to know what it takes to go from average to above average, each and every one of you guys, this is the thing that's sometimes frustrating. I mean, when I look at the quality of people that we have, and we've got some people who are killing it. I look at the leaderboards and the numbers are there. But I see a lot of people languishing down at the bottom end and do so week in, week out. It's not, if you're low on the leaderboards this week, don't worry about it. I'm not calling you out. But if you're not showing up on the leaderboards every week, or if you're way down there and you're not where you want to be, again, not talking to part-timers, people that are just, writing a few apps just to kind of make extra money. This is not towards you. This is for the people who say they want to be full-time, they want to be highly successful. I'm talking about if you are not, committing yourself to excellence, you're never going to get there. You're never going to break through. So when we talk about commitments, it's got to be commitment to number, but it's also got to be a commitment to the activity. What are you going to do? And again, if you have any questions, get with your upline and print out that 4 cornerstones. It's all right there. Everything you need to know to be successful is already in place. The only ingredient missing is you. And I loved, one of the other top guys we had there at Kansas City, Keyshawn Monteith. For those of you who don't know his story, he was an executive chef. He's actually cooked for a living before he came to Symmetry. So literally anybody can come in here and be successful. Not that there's anything wrong with chefs, but I'm just making a point. We look, so too many times we look at backgrounds. We say it's got to be a salesperson that comes in and be successful here. That's not true. And I love Keyshawn's take on what it takes to win in this system, because he equated it back to his previous career, and that was cooking and baking. He said, if you mix up a recipe and you leave out a key ingredient, that recipe almost always fails or comes out not like it should. Doesn't taste the same. It's missing something. Guys, the thing about this is we have the recipe completely done. The only ingredient missing is you. So your system, your business is already built. It's already successful. It's already ready to take off and launch and generate unbelievable amounts of revenue and wealth for you and your family. The only thing that's missing is you and your commitment to making it happen. So the thing about this, again, guys, nobody wants you to win more than we do. Myself, the leaders on this team, Jeremiah, John Paul, Spencer, Julia, the people who are team building, as I look here, Brett, all these guys who are bringing you into this business. They want you to win as much as you do, because all of our success is interdependent on each other, and so they're willing to pour into you as much as you're willing to pour into yourself. And literally, they will pour as much into you as you will pour into you. But it's got to start with you. So, challenge for the month of October. We'll send out the numbers. We'll get those numbers out to you. Watch your high water mark, raise the bar, whether that's up 20%, up 50%. Guys, we're not going to set that commitment for you, but again, keep in mind goals versus commitment. Set a goal. I mean, hey, set a shoot for the moon goal, but we want to see your commitment. And we want to have a conversation around what are you willing to do to make sure that that number happens no matter what. I don't care if you get sick. I don't care if you miss 3 weeks out of the month for some strange reason. You still have to do whatever it takes to hit that number. Okay? That's your commitment. I will not quit. If it's midnight or 11 o'clock on p.m. on the last day of the month and I got turned in an hour and I'm short, I am on the phone trying to figure out how to get 1 extra app, 2 extra apps, 5 extra apps, whatever I got to get. I'm going to until that last minute is up. So, guys, some things that are going to help you on that. Obviously, the personal growth, as I was thinking about this topic this morning, if you haven't tapped into either Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod or The Miracle Equation, actually Miracle Equation is his new book, and it's a little bit different take than The Miracle Morning. I mean, it's still a lot of the same stuff, but it's not about, getting up in the morning and doing the routine. It's more about some of the mindset stuff that goes into winning at those high levels. So highly recommend, in fact, I'll put it out there, Miracle Equation. If you don't want to read about getting up at 4 a.m. and doing an hour's worth of work, don't go straight to the Miracle Equation, because it's all about mindset. And that's what it takes to win in this business. The difference between those who hit their commitment and their goals all happens up here, from those who do and those who don't. Okay. All right, guys, announcements here, Leaders Conference, and I'm glad you mentioned that, Jeremiah, coming up in November 6th and 7th, and we have Debt-Free Life on the 8th. Guys, this is a perfect opportunity to package all that stuff into one trip, save us kind of running all over the country like Jeremiah was talking about. But just as important, guys, that Leaders event, I was talking about being at Fall Tour, and the opportunity to sit down with guys that are just crushing numbers in production. If you want to, even if you're not sure you want to build a team, or maybe you're kind of on the fence, or maybe you've tried it and you don't know if you want to continue doing that, that's fine. But you're going to be around the top producers in the company are all going to be at that event. And what would it mean to sit down and have a conversation with them? November 6th is going to be the meetings, to have some opportunity to hear from those folks. A lot of those people are going to be on stage. But November 7th, we're actually going to be hanging out with those people at the Symmetry Challenge, the fundraising event that we do for Make-A-Wish. And guys, that is the most unscripted, unplanned event, meaning you literally are just standing around talking with everybody and pulling up chairs and sitting down and having conversations. So if you want to tap into that level of expertise and be able to ask some very pointed and detailed questions. Hey, I see on the leaderboards, you're selling a lot of this product. How are you doing that? What are the questions you're asking? Guys, this is the opportunity to plug into those people. And people who win big in this system in business take advantage of that. So get there, November 6th, 7th, Debt-Free Life on the 8th. Jeremiah actually posted a link to that. I appreciate that on GroupMe. We'll be sending that out as part of our announcements moving forward, but definitely take advantage of that, guys. The opportunity to do Debt-Free Life all in that same trip. And that's actually going to be a one-day event, as opposed to if you go to St. Augustine, you actually have to do it over 2 days, extra hotel, all that stuff like that. This is designed to really keep this packaged for you. Take advantage of that. Also, upcoming in April, the cruise. Guys, again, I mean, I can't stress to you how important that event is. Number one, it's just gonna be a lot of fun. I mean, let's face it, we're gonna be on a boat, sailing around, all inclusive, everything that you ever want to do and have fun, but you're gonna be having fun with the top people in the company. You'll be literally playing games and hanging out and having fun with the top level leaders, the top producers. And you know, so it's not just the opportunity to ask them questions. I mean, that's very important, but to build relationships. Think about having on your phone a number for a Mike Leidecker or a Zach Little or a Jeremiah Nolan or a John Paul Vetter on your phone book, guys. Opportunity for you to make these connections, make these relationships, and be able to call these guys up in the future, these guys and gals, and say, hey, here's something I'm going through in my business. I'm just kind of curious. Have you ever dealt with this, and what would you recommend? Top performers in the business, your opportunity. Okay. That's for announcements. I just got a note from John Paul. John Paul, can you unmute yourself? If not, let me see if I can find your phone.
Hi, Chris.
Yeah.
Well, we let John Paul steal the show. I want to remind about the POG. Larry Spoth, Advanced Markets call at 2 p.m. Central. I just posted to GroupMe. I know I'm going to be on there. I know Brett Applin and a few others. Guys, I mean, if you want to learn how to make money, I mean, in incredible money, $100,000 annuity is not that hard to find. And you're talking about at least, $5,000-$6,000 commission right there. So encourage you to, if you have an interest in learning about advanced markets, annuities, IULs and stuff, it's the last Friday of every month, and it's today. So just want to encourage you to join that. I mean, I've got a $300,000 I'm working on right now. If I'm able to secure that, we're talking about upwards of $18,000 in commission, so, and you don't have chargebacks on those deals. Not typical.
And Larry Spoth, for those of you who don't know, Larry is actually the premier expert in this, in that line or in that field. I mean, he writes more annuities in a week than most people will in a year. So
what time's the meeting? It doesn't have a time on it.
What's that?
2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. I'll
yeah, we'll post times to the group.
Right, thank you.
John Paul, are you on? Let me find his number here. Hang on just a second. Where we at? Is that you? Is that John Paul?
There we go. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Now we got it. Sorry, I had to find your number.
Sorry. No worries. Yeah, I'm mobile, so my apologies for that and background noise. I've got 2 more appointments today, so I'm en route to the first of those. So driving, so my apologies there. But so I don't mean to kind of go backwards a little bit, but I wanted to tie into something earlier. I tried to speak up a little bit earlier when we were talking about finding other ways to drum up business, but of course I was muted and couldn't unmute myself on my cell phone. So, but we talk about different ways to generate opportunities, And leveraging that Care to Share program is extremely beneficial. I've mentioned before that I had developed a similar program both at Brinks and at Cox and at Blue Ribbon Foods that was called a Community Connection program, and we did much the same thing. And it's about you being able to get out there and develop your own relationships with folks. We talk about that. It sounds simplistic, but start with something as simple as reaching out to realtors that you see postings for or advertisements. I've got an actual call with a young lady who actually is a realtor, seems very entrepreneurial spirited, kind of hustling, trying to get her business going in the Atlanta area here, because I was on my Facebook page and I was flipping through and she happened to have a sponsored Facebook ad where she was listing a property and showed her walking around her agency and talking about, hey, let me help you find your dream home, blah, blah, blah. So I wrote her number down and I called her and spoke to her and told her what I do and kind of set the stage for a partnership. And I'm meeting with her next week for us to talk about that further. There's times you run across, at a stoplight, you might run across a bus stop that has an advertisement on it that's a local realtor or something like that, a RE/MAX agent. Take a picture of it if you can't write it down and circle back when you get stationary and call that number and talk to them. Find ways to build opportunities for yourself. How about whenever you close a deal with a customer that you've just taken care of and you've got the strongest bond with them at that point, it's one thing to ask for other referrals and people that they know and relatives and things you can help, but how about you ask them, hey, if you don't mind, because I partner with a lot of other realtors in the area to help people do exactly what we've done this evening, would you happen to have your realtor's name and number? They just closed on the house a lot of times in the last month or two. That's how they got the letter. Start with that. You should be able to come away with, 6, 8, 10 realtors' names during the course of a month conservatively, and then talk to those people about being able to set them up on the Care to Share program. And you can use your common customer as a bond for that conversation. So the point is, I could go on, and I don't want to make this call take any longer than it needs, but the opportunities and the scenarios are endless. Stop fitting yourself into a small, a sphere of possibilities, and think about other things you can be doing to generate leads for your business. Dedicate a specific day that morning all you're going to do is, instead of maybe that one day, instead of calling leads from Opt, that day from 9 till 2 during the day, I'm going to call realtors. You got Google, you got an internet search. Find ways to partner with these people. And again, we've talked about this before, just like when you're building your business. I apologize for my navigation in the background. You don't have to have 30 or 40 people in your network to be successful. Imagine how impactful having 2 or 3 realtors that referred you 1 or 2 people a month on top of everything you're doing now. And then next month you add 1 or 2 more realtors. And then after that, think about where you're at now and how long you've been here. If you'd been doing that since you arrived, where would you be just with referrals and not have to worry so much about just leads? That's a compliment. There's no one silver bullet for success here. It's a sum total of all your activities, but you got to expand your horizons as to other possibilities as well. So anyway, that was all I wanted to add. I meant to add that earlier when we were on that topic, so I'm sorry to go back to that, Chris, but I just wanted to make sure I shared that with the group so folks can kind of think outside the box about what else they can do and leveraging the other tools and resources that we have.
No, that's actually, I actually appreciate you bringing that up, and that's perfect. As you were talking, John Paul, it just hit me. We had a call, was it this week or last week, that Casey was talking about, doing the T approach, where when you write an application, you go across the street, knock on the door directly across the street, and on both sides of the house that you just sold, and actually generating leads by doing that. So what, a little caveat, a little twist on that. What if you were to do that T knock and go across the road and go to the houses on the other side, and instead of just saying, hey, I sold your neighbor, it's said, hey, we've got a special deal going today because your neighbor bought insurance from us. We're going to give you a free Everplans. Would that not be a twist on marketing? Think giving something away for free, and sit there and explain to them what Everplans is. Again, no cost, no obligation. Would you like for me to set that up for you? Okay, great. let's just set a time. We'll come back. I'll set that up for you again. There will be no cost, no billing to you, and we'll help you out. Now, you know, we think too many times about Everplans just being, you know, just kind of a carrot to throw out there. But as you're sitting down with these people, and guys, if you haven't set up your own Everplans, you get a free one through Symmetry. So you need to go set that up so you understand what it is. Everybody on this call, if you're an agent with Symmetry, you get a free Everplans. Go set that up so you understand. But walking through that, I mean, it literally is everything about somebody's financial life, their insurance, their retirement accounts, you know, their banking. And as you're helping them set up that, is that not going to raise some questions? You know, as you're asking, hey, do you know, your 401k monies, we just need to put your numbers in here so your family knows where to go find that. Oh, you've got a 401k at an old job that you worked at 10 years ago. Well, have you ever rolled that over? Oh, really? Okay. Is that of interest to you? Are you looking for somewhere to put that money? I mean, guys, that's the point of Everplans, is to give something of value to the client and open up that dialogue and conversations. Will something come out of every time? No, but it will definitely put you in a position of being of service to somebody, which means they're going to be more likely to refer you, but also open up opportunities for you to be able to help those individuals. So guys, get creative. Again, if you want to rise to a level of excellence, that means you got to tap into all the, you know, become a specialist in some of these things that we have available. And you're going to find, you're going to open up your own doors for success. So guys, I'm going to close out the call for today. Appreciate each and every one of you being on, and awesome week. We're getting ready to roll into October again. Keep in mind, man, with this, and I'm not lying to you when I said this is not hype. We're going into the fourth quarter of this year. This is insurance selling season. There's always big numbers that come out in October, November, and December. And this is the time that people are thinking about it. So tap into it. Go out there, put in the activity that you need to put in to get yourself successful. We'll be sharing numbers with you today and over the weekend, and set your commitment for October. Get with your upline on what you need to do to make that a reality. Guys, appreciate each and every one of you being on the call this morning. Go out and have a great week, and we'll talk to you all next week.